I need to go get the hose with that pump.
Yeah, that too, but that thing's not going to keep up with that.
What's going on, guys? Back with another video. First things first, please try to ignore all this mess down here. I have spent many hours trying to clean and basically take care of all this flood damage and sewer backups that we've had. I just want to let you guys know that if you are looking to buy a house, get 2 inspectors. And I'm going to tell you why. So basically we thought we had a good inspector and he was alright, but inspectors always miss things, and whether or not you think you have a good house or not, you should always have 2 inspectors. One to basically go through the house, make sure everything's good to go, and the second one to catch anything that the first inspector may have missed. Now, we didn't do the second inspector, and I regret doing that because now we're dealing with a ton of issues that we never would have thought would have been an issue with a house that was barely lived in. These people that we bought it from, they use it as a vacation home. They're city people. And joke's on us because we bought a house that basically was covered up to look nice, and a lot of things aren't nice. So I'm going to show you guys a little bit of the issues here.
Alright, so the first problem that we had with this house is I was upstairs cooking food and I noticed I had a bunch of what seemed to be water leaking. So first thing I did was go down to the basement and discovered that the entire floor was covered in what I believe to be sewage. And it was. So, unfortunately, what I had to do was shut off the water main, which this was all covered up nicely. Shut the water main off and made sure no more water was getting back into the system. Well, brought out a plumber. He came out and snaked it from this octopus looking thing over here. So, kind of a crazy setup here, I know. But he went right in through there. And that pipe comes right over to here. There was a sewer trap there. And if you picture what a sewer trap is, it's just a U with 2 pipes that come in, and when that water fills up, pushes it out. So what was happening is that sewer trap we didn't know was there. So we thought we had a collapsed pipe. The plumber that came out was snaking it, hit this trap, which we thought was a broken pipe. So he got it enough so that we could flush the toilets and use it. But then, a couple days later, it happened again. Brought him back out. But before we brought him back out, we made an insurance claim. The insurance came out and sanitized everything, ripped up all the flooring, and then we found that sewer trap, which we didn't know was there. So, basically, plumber came back, re-snaked the line, cleared out this. But he didn't clear it out good enough. And I'll explain why. When we had the sewer trap unclogged and everything, he just snaked it. He didn't reach his hand into there and pull anything out. I don't know why he didn't do that, but the third guy that we brought out actually did do that and discovered that there was a ton of sediment. And I will put a picture of that in the video.
Alright, like I was saying, they had to cut out this section here in the concrete. They need to get back into this wall, so I need to cut like here, and then they'll put a clean out in this spot, deleting that trap, because all the rust and everything sits in the U part of it and it clogs it. This is lovely.
But basically, 2 big handfuls of sediment, which I think came from our sump pump. Our sump pump comes over here, goes into the garage. Well, all that rainwater, all the mud, all the sediment gets pumped into here. That goes into the sewer. What I think was happening is it was backflowing into here, getting stuck in the trap, and not being able to get out. So after all that was said and done, the plumber suggested that we get the sewer trap replaced with a clean out, which I thought was a good idea as well, because every time you flush the toilet, it was catching. The toilet paper was catching in that trap because it was not used very often. This house was a vacation home, and like I said before, maybe once a year they would come here. So you got that sewer trap, all that water is just sitting there, and it caused rust and scaling. So every time you flush it, toilet paper gets caught in there, and then it, jams up, backs up. So got a PVC pipe, little clean out. That's just a T, basically, an upside down T. Runs right out of there now. So if I ever have any problems with there, that's where I look. And that basically just unscrews, and then you can go out to the street, you can go back, no issues. So fast forward about, let's say like 3 months. Fast forward, I come down to the basement, and I notice that there's water. Unfortunately, the sump pump was not pumping. I have no idea why. I think it overheated, potentially due to a clog of dirt and mud, sediment, rocks, you name it, all going into there and getting trapped. So what I did earlier today was I cleaned all that out. I vacuumed it out. So now, when water goes in, it can get pumped out. However, back to the issue with the flooding. So, the water level got so high in here, the first time that it flooded, we got a torrential downpour, and I mean, it was the most rain I think I've seen in quite some time. I know there's been a couple floods in 2011 and 2006 that completely wiped out pretty much everybody in the area. So anyways, got a ton of rain. The sump pump failed, and the water rose. You can see there's a line. So about, give or take, about 6-7 inches of water came in through there. So again, I'm glad I didn't finish the flooring, because that would have caused more issues. So now what my plan is to coat all this with a water sealant, even all this. Get all this redone. And then, if we come out here, fix that. So now we come out here. And this is what I did earlier. I basically had to pull all this drain out and vacuum up all the mud, all the sediment out of here. And I do know that we get quite a bit of mud coming down the driveway. It's not so bad there, but what happens is all here, angle of the lawn goes towards the house here. If you can tell, the camera isn't really doing it justice, but this all comes down. So all that rainwater pulls up, comes down through here, then comes out the wall. I actually got a video of it coming out of the wall. But my plan is, previous owner had it just draining the eaves, just draining right down to here, all in here. And I saw that as an issue, so I quickly rerouted it all the way to the road. So my next plan is to dig a trench and bury this pipe and not have to worry about any more water being presented into the system more than it already has. So, yeah, that's basically it for now. I've had a few more issues that weren't as major. The entryway has drywall, or had drywall, plastered to hold the drywall to the brick. And if anybody knows anything about brick, it gets wet. So basically that's not how you're supposed to do it. So the issue that I had there, it got wet. The drywall started to get moldy and soaked. So I ripped all that out and tried to seal it the best I could. But anyways, I will get you guys more updates on the house. I know I really haven't shown you guys much, but it is a process, and I'm trying my best. I don't have the energy like I used to as a kid. I do have a pretty severe immune deficiency, which causes me to not be able to have any energy 90% of the time. So when I do stuff, I pretty much die afterwards. So, alrighty, I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one.